The Cliff Note version of the religious cosmological argument goes, you exist, you are cause that cause had a cause, but you can't have an infinite regress of causes or you never get to the point where you exist, therefore the first cause, and this is where we get to religion, that first cause has to be God because of reasons A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z.
I'd first like to explain how the format works here. Zach has made his first point, and we both agreed the best way to keep this debate moving forward would be to have a point-response debate. He makes a point, I make a video responding, then I make a point, and Zach makes a video responding. That way, we both get to say our piece on any idea, but we keep moving on ahead, rather than going over and over the same arguments until one of us is proved the victor. Without this format, I'm sure Zach and I could argue almost any point into the ground. We wouldn't get anywhere. He'd never get to share the gospel. I'd never get to win. It'd just be a mess. So here is my response to his point 6 video. For those of you playing the debate drinking game, take a swig every time you hear the word cause. Zach, you had a lot of good points, but I break down your video into 3 main points for the sake of brevity. Don't throw out the baby with the fake babies. The Big Bang does not work as a first cause hypothesis, and who/what the first cause must be. So, first point, I'm forced to agree. It's bad to throw away all the $1 million bills because most of them are fake. Back when I was a Christian and I engaged with atheists in debate, one of the first things I did was a similar move. Distance myself from all of those other religions. It didn't make sense to have a binary debate between theism and atheism. Sure, you can lump all the atheists together into one team, but the theists would balk at the idea that being on the same team would be a good idea. They are nothing alike. If one of those theist religions was actually true, they'd have to fight off their own teammates as well as team atheists at the same time. It is a bit weird being over on the other side of the fence, because all religions basically look the same from over here. But your first point is valid. Just because there are a lot of other Slim Shadys that are just imitating doesn't mean that there isn't a real Slim Shady. So we can do away with all the other gods. I'll focus my efforts on Christianity and only reference the other gods and religions when striking parallels might shed some light on my arguments. Point 2, the cosmological argument. The Big Bang does not work as a primary cause. I'm actually with you on this until you proposed your other alternative. An infinite, timeless, spaceless, all-knowing, all-perfect, personal something is the first cause. The cosmological argument has taken very many forms, and it looks like it's been tweaked since last I saw it. It's currently being made famous by William Lane Craig. Thomas Aquinas included it in his Proofs of God, and as far as I know, it was first posed in 1078 by St. Anselm of Canterbury in a prayer to God. Yup, 1078. A theory was made to explain away our ignorance as to one of the mysteries of the universe, and that explanation was a god. I sense a pattern. The Cliff Note version of the religious cosmological argument goes, you exist, you are cause that cause had a cause, but you can't have an infinite regress of causes or you never get to the point where you exist. Therefore, the first cause, and this is where we get into religion, that first cause has to be God because of reasons A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z. How you guys doing with that drinking game? Zach, I am so glad you haven't spouted out the usual lie. Atheism's stance is that nothing exploding had made everything. The hard part is that the Big Bang may be where mankind's knowledge stops. It is a very large and mysterious thing that happened, and for this reason I am not surprised to find this is where the gods live. The topic is hard because the evidence has exploded, after all, and is by definition scattered across the universe. But I think I should clear something up. I don't think the Big Bang was the first cause, just the first cause of our universe. Many of the first cause theories do rely on something infinite. Well, there's the first theory where, it doesn't rely on anything, is where the Big Bang just happened for no reason. Sure, it's what William Lane Craig wrongly accuses atheists of believing all the time. As a rule, a red flag should go up whenever you hear someone say, an atheist believes. There are more theories created by our best and brightest experts on the subject, and they are a lot more complex, but they have decent summaries for a layman. Stephen Hawking's theory is that the first cause is the combination of gravity and potential. Both are infinite. Neil Tyson, the world-renowned astronomer who decided Pluto isn't a planet anymore, and I'm still bitter about that, has a pet theory that our universe owes its birth to the existence of matter and dark matter, a theoretical substance that Tyson finds reasons to believe that might exist. To list some more theories off in rapid fire, there's the multiverse theory, the wavelength theory, the Big Bang, Big Crunch theory, the materials for the Big Bang always existed theory, and the theory where the Big Bang just zipped into existence like the electrons do on the quantum level. None of these theories look remotely close to a powerful being wishing existence into existence. Science is trying to move past the Big Bang, and the people that are putting forth my list of theories are the best and brightest on the topic, not religious folks who are desperately trying to get God into the cosmological conversation. Craig's cosmological argument has been around for years, and it depends heavily on approximate science theory. But I find the lack of faith amongst American scientists to be an indicator that his argument isn't doing it for the experts on the topic, but only for the people that don't fully understand what he's talking about. Zach, I'm afraid that your religion's contribution to the list of cosmological theories is a ghost did it with magic. Red flags are waving frantically in my mind right now when two unknowns are used to explain a mystery that's already in process of being solved. But you do go on to explain why you think it's a who with certain characteristics. Point 3, why the first cause is a who rather than a what. You've got 3 reasons as to why the first cause is a who rather than a what, and I had some thoughts about each. I'm running out of time here, but I had a feeling you'd be going down this route, so I wrote my thoughts about this into my first point video. But I wanted to touch on something you said about God being all good. You made a quote of the Golden Rule and how it went back to Jesus Christ in the Gospels. You do know that the Golden Rule predates Christ by centuries, right? Confucius, who lived 500 years before Christ, wrote, "What you do not wish for yourself, do not do to others," or at least some Chinese equivalent. A Hindu document from 400 BC called the Mahabharata, also supposedly written by a god, says, "One should never do to another which one regards as injurious to one's own self. This, in brief, is the rule of Dharma. Other behavior is due to selfish desires." Or at least some kind of Sanskrit equivalent. Buddhism also has a similar saying that dates back to circa 500 BC. "Hurt not others in ways that you would find hurtful." Or at least some Indian language equivalent. All of these written down centuries before Christ, but I wouldn't sweat it. Religions have been stealing ideas from their predecessors since antiquity.